Money rarely begins outside the home. For most Americans, the first experience with finance is not a bank loan or an investment account, but personal resources quietly built over time. Internal sources of finance are born from daily behavior, emotional decisions, and long-standing habits that shape how people fund their lives long before any institution gets involved. In the United States, internal finance usually means savings, retained earnings, or money recycled from within one's own system. For a household, it could be a checking account, buffer built paycheck by paycheck. For a small business owner, it might be profits left in the business instead of taken home. What's interesting is not the mechanics, but the psychology behind why people lean on their own money first. Control plays a powerful role. Using internal funds feels safer because it avoids judgment, paperwork, and outside rules. There is no approval process when the money is already yours. In a culture that values independence, internal finance aligns with the American belief that self-reliance equals responsibility. People feel more competent when they can solve financial problems without asking for help, even if that help could be cheaper or easier. There is also memory involved. Many adults carry emotional echoes from past financial stress. Parents who lived through layoffs, recessions, or medical debt often pass down an unspoken rule: save first, depend later. Internal funds become emotional armor. A savings account is not just money, it's peace of mind. It represents protection against embarrassment, uncertainty, and the fear of falling behind. At the same time, internal finance reveals trade-offs people don't always see. When Americans use their own money, they tend to be more cautious. Spending feels heavier when it comes from personal reserves. This can slow growth, delay opportunities, or keep people playing small. Yet psychologically, that restraint feels virtuous. Sacrifice is framed as discipline, even when it quietly limits long-term outcomes. For businesses, internal financing reflects similar emotions. Owners often reinvest profits because outside capital feels risky or intrusive. Boring can feel like failure. Eben Tugit, as a normal part of economic systems. Keeping money inside the business preserves identity and control. It allows owners to say, "We built this ourselves," which carries emotional weight beyond spreadsheets. Internal finance also exposes inequality in subtle ways. Not everyone starts with the same capacity to generate internal funds. Families with stable income can build reserves more easily. Others live in a constant cycle of inflow and outflow, where internal finance never has time to accumulate. The system rewards patience, but patience requires breathing room. In everyday American life, internal sources of finance quietly shape decisions like delaying home repairs, avoiding career risks, or staying in unsatisfying jobs. These choices are rarely labeled as financial strategy. They feel personal, emotional, and practical, yet they are deeply connected to how money moves inside a person's world. Internal finance is not just about money already earned. It is about trust in oneself, fear of exposure, and the belief that using your own resources is the safest way forward, even when it comes at a cost. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that is super important but often overlooked: the emotions behind our money decisions. We all know the basic: spend less than you earn, save for the future, avoid debt. But if it were that simple, wouldn't we all be financial gurus? The truth is, how we feel about money deeply impacts how we manage it. Think about it. Have you ever gone on a shopping spree after a bad day? That's emotional spending. Or maybe you feel a rush of anxiety every time you open your banking app. That's financial anxiety, and it's a real thing. These feelings, fear, excitement, guilt, or even pride, are powerful drivers of our financial behavior. They can push us to make impulsive purchases we later regret, or they can make us so afraid of losing money that we avoid investing altogether, missing out on potential growth. So, how do we get a handle on this? The first step is awareness. Start noticing your emotional triggers. When you're about to make a purchase, ask yourself, why am I buying this? This isn't about judging yourself. It's about understanding your own patterns. Next, let's talk about building healthier habits. Instead of turning to retail therapy, find other ways to cope with stress. Go for a walk. Call a friend. Listen to your favorite music. Create a budget that isn't just about numbers, but about your values. What's truly important to you? Is it travel, security, or learning a new skill? Aligning your spending with your values makes it easier to say no to things that don't matter. Another powerful tool is automation. Set up automatic transfers to your savings and investment accounts right after you get paid. This is the pay yourself first method, and it works because it takes the emotion and decision-making out of the equation. Your savings grow without you having to think about it, which reduces the temptation to spend that money elsewhere. Finally, remember to be kind to yourself. You're going to make mistakes, and that's perfectly okay. If you're feeling overwhelmed, don't hesitate to talk to a trusted friend or a financial professional. You don't have to figure it all out on your own. By understanding the emotional side of money, you can build a healthier, happier relationship with your finances. It's about more than just numbers. It's about creating a life that feels good and secure. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next video. Have you ever noticed how your mood and your plans for the future seem to change with your bank balance? It's not just about what you can buy today. It's about something much deeper. The money we have saved up, or the lack of it, quietly shapes how we see our tomorrow. It's like an invisible hand guiding our hopes, dreams, and even our anxieties. When you have a bit of a financial cushion, a safety net, you start to see the world differently. Suddenly, that business idea doesn't seem so crazy. Taking a few months off to learn a new skill feels possible. You might start browsing travel websites, not just for fun, but with a real destination in mind. This isn't about being rich. It's about having a sense of security. This security allows your mind to expand, to dream bigger, and to plan with optimism. The future looks like a field of opportunities waiting to be explored. You feel more in control, more empowered to make choices that align with your true self, rather than just what you need to do to survive. But what happens when that cushion disappears? When unexpected expenses pop up, or when income dries up and you see your savings dwindle? The world can start to feel a lot smaller. Your focus shifts from what could be to what must be. It becomes all about getting through the next week, the next month. Long-term goals get pushed to the side. Instead of planning a vacation, you're calculating how to stretch every dollar. The future can start to look foggy, uncertain, and even a little scary. Your mind is occupied with what-ifs. What if the car breaks down? What if I get sick? This constant state of alert can be exhausting and makes it hard to feel hopeful or creative. This connection between our finances and our future outlook is so powerful because money represents options. More savings mean more choices. It has the freedom to say yes to an opportunity or no to a situation that is unright for you. When that freedom is limited, we can feel trapped. It's a silent pressure that affects our mental health, our relationships, and our overall sense of well-being. It can make you more risk-averse, less likely to take the leap that could change your life for the better. So, what can we do? The first step is just acknowledging this connection, understanding that it's normal to feel anxious when funds are low, or optimistic when they're stable. Can be incredibly validating. From there, we can start to take small, manageable steps. It's not about becoming a millionaire overnight. It's about creating a plan, no matter how small. Maybe it's setting aside just a few dollars each week. Maybe it's learning more about budgeting or finding a side hustle you enjoy. Every dollar you save isn't just a dollar. It's a little piece of a brighter, more secure future you're building for yourself. It's a vote of confidence in the person you want to become. It's about reclaiming your power to dream and to shape your own destiny, one small step at a time. The journey might be slow, but it's one of the most rewarding ones you can take. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, give us a like and subscribe for more content on building a better future. See you next time. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to have all the time in the world, while others are always rushing, always stressed? A lot of it comes down to something I call internal finance. It's not about being rich. It's about having a financial buffer, a safety net. This buffer completely changes your relationship with time. When you have some savings, time becomes your ally. You can afford to wait for the right opportunity, whether it's a job offer, an investment, or even just waiting for a sale on something you need. You have the luxury of making decisions without the pressure of a ticking clock. If your car breaks down, it's an inconvenience, not a catastrophe. you have the resources to fix it without derailing your entire life. This freedom from constant financial worry allows you to think long-term, to plan, and to invest in yourself, maybe by taking a course or learning a new skill. Now, let's flip the script. Imagine living without that buffer. Every single day feels like a race against time. You're constantly putting out fires. A surprise bill isn't just a bill. It has a crisis that could lead to debt or force you to take on extra work at a moment. This notice time is no longer a friend. It's an enemy, always closing in. You can't afford to wait for the perfect job. You have to take whatever comes your way just to stay afloat. The mental load is immense. All your energy is spent on short-term survival, leaving no room for long-term growth or seizing unexpected opportunities. An amazing chance might pop up, but if it requires a small upfront investment or a temporary pay cut, you simply can't take it. This creates a cycle. Those with a financial cushion can use their time to create more opportunities and build more wealth. Those without are trapped in a loop of stress and short-term thinking, making it incredibly difficult to get ahead. The difference isn't about intelligence or work ethic. It's about the psychological freedom that a financial safety net provides. It gives you breathing room, reduces stress, and allows you to make choices based on what's best for you, not what's most urgent. So, how do we break the cycle? It starts small. Building even a tiny emergency fund can begin to shift your relationship with time. The goal isn't to get rich overnight. It's to create a little bit of space. Space to think, space to breathe, and space to make better decisions. It's about buying back your time and, with it, your peace of mind. What do you think? Let me know in the comments how financial security has impacted your own life. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights. By the time people recognize the role internal sources of finance play in their lives, those forces are already deeply ingrained. Habits have hardened. Emotional rules are set. Money has learned its place in the story of who someone is and what they believe is possible. Internal finance becomes less about accumulation and more about identity maintenance. For many Americans, self-funded stability becomes a moral signal. It represents being responsible, mature, and prepared. This belief is reinforced socially. People praise those who handle things on their own, quietly. Dependence is framed as weakness, even when systems are designed to require it. Internal finance becomes a way to avoid shame, not just debt. This emotional framing affects how people talk about money. They downplay the role of help, luck, or timing. Savings are credited to discipline alone. Setbacks are internalized as personal failure. Internal finance carries the weight of self-worth, which makes financial stress feel like a character flaw instead of a situational challenge. Over time, this shapes generational patterns. Parents who relied heavily on internal funds often teach caution through stories, not spreadsheets. Children absorb the message that safety comes from holding back, not reaching out. These lessons travel across decades, influencing how future households relate to money, risk, and opportunity. Internal finance also shapes silence. Many people struggle privately because they believe they should be able to handle things themselves. They delay conversations, avoid transparency, and isolate under pressure. The presence or absence of internal funds determines whether problems are shared early or hidden until they escalate. At the same time, internal finance can be empowering. It allows people to exit harmful situations quietly, to walk away without explanation, to choose dignity over endurance. These moments rarely appear dramatic, but they are deeply consequential. They change trajectories without leaving visible marks. The contradiction is that internal finance both protects and limits. It offers autonomy while encouraging self-containment. It provides safety while discouraging collective solutions. People learn to patch their own leaks instead of questioning why the structure keeps failing. In American life, this balance is constantly negotiated. Individuals build internal buffers to survive a system that expects them to be resilient. The system, in turn, relies on that resilience to remain unchanged. Internal finance becomes the glue holding daily life together, even as it conceals deeper fragility. What makes internal sources of finance so powerful is their invisibility. They don't announce themselves like loans or investments. They operate quietly, shaping behavior through emotion rather than instruction. They influence how long people stay, how far they reach, and how much uncertainty they can tolerate. By understanding internal finance as a psychological force, not just a financial one, we begin to see why money decisions feel so personal, so heavy, and so hard to separate from identity. These choices are not made in spreadsheets. They are made in memory, fear, pride, and hope. Internal sources of finance are not simply where money comes from. They are where confidence, caution, and quiet resilience are stored, shaping everyday American life from the inside out.